Yes,
So
good.
I'm Erik Bjernulf. I actually started my career here at Ericsson. Today I am a consultant working at a company called Tolpagoni Product Management. We're a specialist company in high-tech product management. What we do a lot of trainings, internal open trainings. We also work as consultants doing projects in product marketing, product planning, and product strategies. And also, we work as interim software product managers or other product managers. And today, I will talk about my experience as an interim product manager in different companies, varying in size from 25 up to 100,000 people in the organization. So, product management. This is about looking into the vast opportunity, the opportunity space. We can do anything with our product, really. The tricky thing with product management is that you have to define that you cannot do everything. You have to say no to a lot of features. And in order to support this process, you need help with the tools. So today I will introduce 7 tools, 7 battle-proven tools that I have been using myself in these organizations over the last 1 to 2 years in agile and lean environments. Starting with personas. I know you're familiar with personas, but in general, you could use personas so much more than we usually do. It's a fantastic tool. It's a strategic tool that you can use throughout the life of your product. When you're working with market insights, to understand what is really needed in the market, to define the problems, to document, to write the user stories, for instance. You can use them when you define the test cases. Later on, when you want to market your product, again, you can use personas to create marketing communication material. The second tool for today is a version of the business model canvas. There are many versions of this on the market, product canvas, the value canvas, etc. And you have to find one that suits your own personal needs best. The key thing here is that you can have everything on one slide. You can connect them to the personas. You can have the pains and the gains of the customer, the user, the real benefit that you want, the problem that you want to solve. And again, going all the way back to the description of what you want to do with your product. The third tool is around requirements. The requirements abstraction model that was originally designed by Professor Korsek in Blekinge Tekniska Högskola. We heard the question why today already. Why do we want to have this requirement? We also heard about how. How can we implement that in real life in the R&D team? And when you make these questions, you can actually build a complete hierarchy of different kinds of requirements. You define them at different levels. And using this sort of structure makes it much more easier for you to communicate the requirements, to understand them, to do prioritization, etc. In a way, it looks pretty complex, but in real life, you can simplify the model, and maybe in your daily life, you only use part of that. Tool number 4 is values. Values that we deliver to the customer. Again, at BTH, they are doing a lot of research, partly in cooperation with Ericsson in this field, and they identified 128 different kinds of values. We heard about values for the customer. There are values, internal values. In real life, again, you cannot use 128 different kinds of values for each requirement. It would take ages to work with that. So you have to simplify very, very much. Maybe down to that you are only using 2 or 3 different kinds of values. If you think this is really interesting about requirements, but still think it's a bit tricky, then I'd recommend you to go to the scientific conference about requirements, the Requirements Engineering Conference, because this year it's actually in Sweden, in Karlskrona, so it's easy to go there in August and listen to leading researchers from all over the world. Tool number 5 is what I call the product story, or in some cases we have developed a product brochure up front. When we started to develop the new feature or new product, we created the sales brochure as the first thing. Of course, if you don't like printed material, you could do this in the form of a presentation or a video and post it on YouTube. The key thing is you want to explain the history of why do you want to develop this product and how are you going to do that. Tool number 6 is very simple. We talk a lot about very complex technical products. You want to discuss priorities at very different levels in the organization. And something that is possible to understand for everybody is the pie chart, because you can discuss how much effort do you want to spend on maintenance, how much can you spend on new features for your existing customers, and what is left for new markets, new customers. So in a way, this is a very simple tool, but the good thing with this tool is it actually makes it necessary for managers to take decisions and say no. It's also easier in the end to explain why you couldn't do everything, because there are only 100% available at a certain time. Of course, you can ask for more resources, but very often it takes time to bring in consultants. You can do that for the next or the sprints in a couple of months' time, but not up front. Now, the 7th tool is not really a tool, I have to confess. It's not a tool, but rather a methodology. When we work with B2B products, the user is very often a developer at the customer, somebody using our API. And what we can do, we can use standard procedures when it comes to user experience. When we develop the API, we should really think of the developer at our customer as the user. This you can use, we have seen it several times. We are working together with 6 in a research project where we looked into different aspects of the interfaces between different parts of a complete system in a project called Federated Embedded Systems. A year ago, we had a UX conference at Tompagani where people from Ericsson, for instance, presented their way of defining a process for UX. And this is something that really you could reuse that when you define the API as a tool for your B2B product. So all in all, I mentioned 7 tools that we have been using in real life. I would be really happy to share your thoughts about them and discuss them later in the open space. So thank you.